Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out the Catalyst Machine Works Merica 4-inch frame. And I know there's been a lot of videos on the 5-inch frame, but this is their 4-inch version, and it's designed for motors that have the 12mm hole pattern, so things like the 13OX, 1415 size motors. I happen to build mine with the HDLRC 1407 3600 kV motors on this 4-inch prop, and just want to let you guys know that the frame was provided by Catalyst Machine Works. These props, these are the HQ 4x4.3x3 V1S props. These were also provided by Catalyst Machine Works, and the motors were provided by HDLRC. Some of the parts inside here were provided by Banggood. If you guys are wondering where the parts came from, I'll put all the parts list down below. Build is actually pretty straightforward. Now, Catalyst Machine Works does have a manual on how to put this frame together, but essentially, you know, we have a slightly stretched X frame here, and it's very similar to the 5-inch. Obviously, scale it down a little bit. They have this basically staggered design here, where you have one arm lower than the front arm lower than the back arm here, and then they have these spacers here that basically allow for this staggered setup here. And I think that does help a little bit with the prop wash. So you can see here, when you bring the props kind of closer together here, that they are staggered, so you have less prop wash coming from the front to the back props. And I think that helps a little bit. But the design of the 4-inch frame is essentially exactly the same as the 5-inch frame. You have these two sandwich plates, and then the ESC lives inside here. Yeah, basically what I did here is I'm using their canopy system. I'm going to have a separate video talking about the canopy system, because you can take the pod off of the 4-inch here. All of the electronics here are inside this pod. So I have the camera, I have my receiver, all my Fpv components, my video transmitter antenna, my flight controller, and my video transmitter. And I'm actually using one single 20x20 board. It's called the F4 VTX, so it's got a 20x20 board with an F4 flight controller and a video transmitter all on one board. So my receiver, my FPV system, everything is in here, and then my power system is down below, and then I have a little wiring loom that goes from the ESC to the pod here. And then if I wanted to, I could take this off and put this onto the 5-inch frame, and I actually have a 5-inch frame here. And I have this basically inside here. I have a 20x20 ESC and the 4-inch version here with the same kind of wiring loom, and I can just take the pod off here, unplug the wiring loom from the flight controller, move this over to the 5-inch frame, and plug this in, and I can essentially fly this. So I'll have a separate video on the 5-inch frame here, with also these are the HDLRC 2306 2450 kV motors. Haven't flown this one yet, but these are supposedly beastie motors, pretty good power. But yeah, this is the nice thing about the Catalyst system, is you can just have actually a bunch of different bases. You can have multiple bases with, say if you have like different setups for 5-inch frames, you can have different motors, different ESCs, and then just move your pod back and forth, or you can go from a 5-inch to a 4-inch, or a variety of combinations as you see fit, and with basically just the power system in the base, and then all of your FPV setup in the pod. So really like that setup, and I'll have a separate video talk about this a little bit more, because it is a little bit tricky to set this up properly, because if you make a mistake, you can fry some equipment. So wait for that video, and I'll have that video out later talking about how to set up this sort of Merica base and pod system. Okay, so just get a few measurements here, and the arms are 4mm thick. The bottom plate is 1.8mm thick, and the other sandwich plate here is also 1.8mm thick. Okay, the motor to motor distance is coming in at about 174mm. The front to back motor distance is about 130mm, and the side to side distance is about 113mm. So it is a little bit of a stretched X frame. And this is the weight as I have it built with these parts, and it's coming in at about 159 grams. Okay, so I'll go ahead and show you some flight demo footage. I encourage you to watch the entire flight demo as I'm narrating the flight demo, and you'll kind of see some of the things I get surprised about as I fly it around in terms of its performance, flight times, etc., etc. So if you want to get an idea of what I'm thinking, I'm now narrating the flight demo, so you can listen to what I have to say as I fly it around. Okay, so I've already tuned this, and it's a pretty good tune. I'll show you the PIDs here. It's not perfect. Obviously, I'm not going for perfection, but it'll do the job. If you guys want to use these PIDs, go ahead and use them. Let's do a full speed pass. Can't even quite get to full speed. Let's try another one here. That's about 80% throttle. And I'm using a 45C 850 4S Tattoo, so not the best battery. Probably could go a little bit bigger, but I wanted to keep this kind of lightweight. But it's still got pretty decent power. Yeah, these props are pretty loud. You can see the voltage sag on the battery going down below 15 volts there. It does recover a little bit, obviously in just a little over a minute on the flight. Things tracks very nicely. Some might argue that these 14, I think these are 1407s or 1408 motors from HGLRC might be a little bit on the weak side for 4-inch setup. Definitely aren't going to be breaking any speed records, but this is a fairly light setup, so I'm not really going for super fast or battery killing type of performance here. Although I think this motor on this battery is killing this battery on the 4-inch setup here. Probably not going to go for too much longer here. I might be able to get another 30 seconds, get 3.5 minutes. I'm at 14.7, 14 point, it's already blinking at me. You can see it's very smooth. No issues with the performance of this. And the throttle is very nice and smooth too. The props are very nice, I think, although they are pretty noisy. I think that you could probably go for some different props and maybe get a little bit more efficiency. These are bull nose, so it's possible that that could also impact amp draw. When it gets to about 14, I think I'll end it. So I'm almost at 14, 14.2, 14.4. And 14.4, 14.5. So actually going quite a bit longer than I expected. Perhaps these props are a little more efficient than I thought. Okay, I'm at about 4.5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and end the flight here. You guys get the picture. I think it flies really well. And pretty decent flight times. I thought I wasn't gonna get as much at first because I saw quite a bit of battery sag. But then once it got to about 14.7, it didn't really sag too much more than that. You can see I'm already back up to 14.5, 14.6. Initially, it went down from about the original 16.4 to, I mean, it dropped really quick. So I thought that the battery was going to die on me really fast, but I'm already at 5 minutes of flight time here. So this is I'm actually quite surprised. I guess you learn a little something every time you fly one of these. And yeah, on an 850, maybe the flight times are pretty good. So yeah, perhaps getting the Tattoo 850 75C battery would give a little better performance than this one, but I thought the performance in this one seemed all right. Anyway, guys, go ahead and end the flight now. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.